I didn't even know it was a ghetto church. My mama had been talking to this flea market patron at a flea market who was like a fortune teller lady that said you should come by our church tomorrow. We're having a sermon, and my mama is like extra crazy religious, right? Like she's one of
Yeah.
the religious types. Okay, mama gets to go into getting us ready. We got a week planned there. We're at the ass end of the trip. This is the day before we go home. Okay, funny thing is, we get to go in the church sermon doors. They get to opening up. Don't nobody love me like Jesus. It's one of them. Oh God, it's one of them pastors that you don't normally expect to do shit. Funny
Yeah.
thing is, this motherfucker's wily already. Wily halfway. Damn pants cocked out his freaking shirt untucked from his pants, kind of cocked out sideways. Fucking next thing you know. The preacher is already drunk. I can smell Remy and fucking rum and holy water on his damn breath saying, how you doing, son? This dude's from the 30s. And I'm like, oh, the tidal wave of a Denny's bathroom of what your breath is right now. That better than the smell your ass breath. Thanks. So we go sit down, right? I look at the damn pamphlet. It's terms about masturbation. I said, I know they ain't gonna preach about this shit. I said, I know they ain't gonna do it. I said, shout out to John Cena. I said, I know they ain't gonna preach about the quote Bill Cosby. I know they ain't gonna preach about the fucking the jacking of the dick and the five knuckle shuffle. Shout out to John Cena, the finisher move. I said, I know they ain't gonna preach about this. This pastor slides out like at a Billy Joel collaboration with James Brown concert. He goes, hey, he does the mannerisms of James Brown. I can barely keep it together. Bro, I had hit a little piece in the bathroom. Bro, I'm high as fuck during this, let alone I forgot to tell you a whole story when I was telling you. I forgot I was high as shit, Charlie. You hear me?
Yeah.
So next thing you know, Charlie, they start passing around church baskets, like the little church basket
Yeah.
things that they have to pass around for money and like for the affording of the church because God know this
Yeah.
church needed money. No one money. They probably could have threw dirt on it and said it looked good. But the funny thing is, this church was dilapidated almost. It was a church from the damn 1830s, and they still preached with freaking. It still preached like it was a preacher out of slavery. Like it was one of them. It was one of them back room slavery preachers. Like yes, sir. It was one of them preachers. I'm not even making this up, dude.
Oh
He
shit.
he thinks he's an old school backroom preacher. Ain't nobody gonna slick see his ass, but my ass lean over. My ass see his ass dip into the goddamn church basket and get his ass out $5 or $10 saying, yeah, that'll get me a 40 and some damn lottery tickets. I said, no. I said, this man just did not rob the church. Collided. I'm back in the back damn. It was one of these room sized churches. It was one of these. Yes, pastor is preaching. He says, how about you, person, pointing at me? I'm thinking he's pointing at me. I'm sitting there hungover as shit. I'm like, dude, you're lucky I'm high right now. I said, dude, I'm sitting there. They started walking towards me like that. They said, and you, ma'am, they got this shit set up for the church lady to be a scam artist with the damn pastor, who's the pastor's wife. She falls out and goes, oh, help me, demons. I mean, help me, Jesus. I'm like, yo, that was bullshit. And you know, she almost opened her eyes. Oh, help me, Satan. I mean, Jesus. I was like, yo, this is called church and I know it. Do you know what they had? An engraving of a fucking cross upside down and said, fuck Jesus. I said, oh, I'm out of here. I said, Mama, we got to get the hell up out of here. I said, this ain't damn cult church you done taught us into getting to, woman. I said, you lucky you my mama. I said, we got to get up out of here. She said, no, 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 it's congregate. I said, congregate with what? These fucking lunatics. I said, Mama. I said, look. They all started walking around with fucking tinfoil hats saying, all praise the onion god and the flying spaghetti monster and fucking Satan himself. I was like, Mama, they're praying to a flying spaghetti monster. I said, what part of this is a religion? Funny as it is, Jehovah's Witness walk in. I said, oh, hell, now it's a damn party. I said, we don't need these motherfuckers here. I said, the last one we need are Jehovah's Witnesses. I said, we already got these crazy nut fucks nutting up over the spaghetti monster that is flying the T-Rex fucking Virgin Mary deal from an internet culture that one of them bastards read since 2009 when memes started going popular, when they started relating around Jesus. I said, this has got to be a sham. Funny thing is, we get ready to leave. They hand my mama a Bible. I'm getting ready to walk behind my mama. I see the pastor through the crack of the door putting on a damn kingly like Pope tinfoil hat. It's the damn Pope. He's thinking he's the Vatican of the fucking crazy people. He's their Pope. He's their fucking Pope Benedict. He called himself that. Behind the scenes, he said the lizard people are real. Started walking around doing the bum bitty 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 bum bum thing from fucking 8 Crazy Nights. He starts doing that around his office, drinking the holy water, saying, praise be to the flying spaghetti monster. He sees me looking, and he said, what you fucking looking at? Spray some lick. I said, whoa! I said, I'm not cursed. You are. And I left. My mama got the Bible from this place. Oh, dear God. I was in the back laughing. He had a go head upside down. And my mama said, what the hell? It looked in there. It was a fly spaghetti monster for like $20 to try and bribe people to come back to their church. I said, Mama, you don't want to read that. She flipped to the 3 pages. It says, smoke your weed, be happy, and live life to the fullest. And my mama said, this is a church of socialism. I said, no, Mama, it's a church of fucking nutcases, and you just happen to talk us into going to one. I said, the pastor I said, Mama, you think this church is not crazy? I said, the pastor reached in the basket, and he helped himself to some damn 40 money and lottery ticket money. I said, you don't tell me this church is fucking not crazy? I said, woman. Then we would go to eat nearby. Bro, it's this ghetto. It's more ghetto than Atlanta. The pastor shows up. He shows up. He shows up. He shows up already drunk. He got his wife to go get him some. His wife told him to request this. And he said he wanted pickle pig dick, pickle pig feet, and pickle pig nuts. I'm like, I said, I thought this Sunday.
Oh my God.
I said, the pastor's ordering pickle pig dick.
Oh shit.
Bruh, I thought the stupidity would never end. The same Jamaican dude that, bruh, he met a Jamaican dude at this fucking restaurant in the back alley. He bought a whole zip and went to his church office and put this shit in there and said it's next week's bookmark. I said, oh, hell no, man. So that was my cursed Sunday in Florida, in a church statement in Florida.